is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal Friday team here today. You have myself, AlphaDog Bets, here with my guy, JD, from Line Movers. JD, how are you today, brother?
Doing good, man. Today's Friday, so there's always a good start.
We love that.
Then this morning has been actually really good, man. Uh, I had another tennis play. It's a big play, and actually that one hit, so it's always a good start to the day. Um,
Absolutely.
and then, yeah, as far as the show and you and myself, this morning has also been very, very good, and people will learn about that probably next week. So.
Looking like next week, there'll be more to come. Some new segments potentially added to the show. We're very excited about that. Over to the comments. Jabo is here. What's up, brother? What a game one last night. It was an absolute thriller. The over did not cash, unfortunately, but Tyrese Halliburton is him. So, JD, I think that's a good time to kind of segue into our recap from yesterday and kind of go over everything. Our Thursday recap, I'll go first. My free plays were dog shit. We lost both of them. VIP plays did okay. We lost a little bit on the day. It's not a terrible day, not a great day, but the free plays were definitely bad. But over to the basketball game. Tyrese Halliburton really is him. Unbelievable performance by him and the Pacers. What a comeback. I turned that off with about 5 minutes left thinking, all right, this game is settled. And then with about 2 minutes left, I got that alert that they were right back in it. I threw it right back on to get back into it. And what a crazy finish. And what a shot by Tyrese Halliburton. It's crazy how he continues to do this. JD, how was your day yesterday, and what did you think?
Yesterday was good, man. Definitely had another winning day. It was so, man, the past few days, like, they've been consecutive winning days. But like they're just that so close to being a massive day, and then just something like actually like last night that actually over kept us, from having just a absolute massive day. But it was still a winning day, so I mean, actually, I can't be mad. As far as best bets on the show, split those. As far as the Phillies and Blue Jays over, that was a nice, easy winner there. And then, of course, like I just said, the over on the game. Lost, and that was because the first half just Pacers.
First quarter, really. It was for the first quarter.
But then the second half played out exactly how we thought it would, and also if you're in the VIP Discord, you did hit a nice live play because as far as the over, I ended up hitting the over live because I really thought that the second half would pick up. And
I did see that. I saw that alert on my phone pop up at I think 10:45 p.m. I'm now playing, what was it, 2:19, I think it exactly was. Yep, I remember seeing that in bed last night. That's funny.
And, because I didn't think the Pacers were going to turn the ball over like 37 times again. But anyway, the Pacers did it, man. I'm not sure that he's here in the chat. He's probably not yet, but shout out Ben. Been in the chat yesterday, called
That's
it.
Right. That's right.
Pacers on the money line, and got to shout out Ben because I know I didn't realize this, but Ben is in the Discord, and he also just actually bought a year of actually VIP. So definitely have to shout out him.
Let's go, Ben, dude. Let's freaking go. Good plus 350 money line call there. Our guy Joe is here. He also was thinking the Pacers had a good chance of winning. So, Joe, you definitely had a good read on that as well, brother. All right, JD, I think that's a good job on the recap here. You ready to dive into today's slate? We're going to be breaking down 5 games on the slate today. As always, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. We're here to answer anything you guys want us to answer. All right, JD, let's roll right in to the MLB for today, Friday, June 6th. First game we're breaking down today is going to be the Red Sox taking on the Yanks. Pitching for the Red Sox, we have Walker Buehler. Buehler's 4-3 on the year with a 4.45 ERA. On the other side, we have Will Warren for the Yankees, who's 3-3 with a 5.19 ERA. The only thing is, Will Warren has been doing a little bit better as of late outside of his last start. The last time we saw Will Warren was against the Dodgers when the Yankees did lose 18-2. He wasn't able to get out of the second inning. But before that, he was the starter who won 4 consecutive games where he went 5 innings basically in every game, allowing 2 runs or less. So the question is, what version do we get of Will Warren today? JD, we're going to start with you. We got the Yanks. We got the Red Sox. What do you got?
As far as Will Warren, to be honest, in this game, the way I'm going with this, I do not care because this is all about Buehler. If you've been watching the show for any amount of time, this year this is somebody that I am trying to fade. His last start was against my Braves, where he gave up 10 hits and 5 earned runs. And I can go ahead and tell you that this Yankees lineup matches up even better than actually that. Um, but as far as the Yankees, they have seen him, and they've seen him a pretty good amount of times now. And as far as the guys that have seen him, they are hitting him well. The Yankees won last night. Where they scored 4 runs.
Yep, 4-0. I
think
so. Was the final.
But I think tonight's really the night that those bats really bust back out. Because you're going up against him, and then you get the Red Sox bullpen after that. So what I personally did was play the Yankees team total over 4.5 runs here.
I like that. And for me, I do think the Yankees are a parlay piece tonight. You guys, if you were here yesterday on yesterday's show, I kind of went over how I feel about minus 1.5 line. So I'm not a big fan of taking the minus 1.5. But I do think the Yankees are going to win this game outright by at least 1 run, and that's what I'm playing. So we are covering the second game on this show today. So when we do get to that game, I will break down my second play to complete the parlay. It is a plus 110 parlay. But yeah, like we said, JD, I do think Walker Buehler will be hit hard, and I do think Will Warren will have a better performance here. Will Warren has some of the nastiest stuff in baseball. He has 69 strikeouts and 52 innings. That is well over 1 strikeout per inning. It's just if he can keep his control in line here. He does have 24 walks on the year, which is not great. But yet again, he has 69 strikeouts and 52 innings. So if he's on his game, getting swings and misses, he's a guy you like to back because he can really mow through a lineup. And this Red Sox lineup can strike out a ton. I think we'll see a good performance from Warren, and the Yankees get a win here. Joe in the comment is saying Buehler used to be so good when he was a Dodger. I agree, but he's not the same guy. We've seen a lot of stories like Buehler. We've seen a lot of Walker Buehlers over the last couple of years, and unfortunately, there are some guys that have a big first couple of years when they make it to the bigs, and they just kind of tail off a little bit. JD, a little throwback, maybe a little Ian Anderson reminds me a little bit of a Walker Buehler, former Brave who had a great first couple of years, and his career kind of seemed to tail off. Reminds me a lot about Walker Buehler.
Definitely.
All right, JD, let's keep it moving. Second game we're breaking down today is going to be the Astros taking on the Guardians. Pitching for the Astros is Colton Gordon. He is 0-1 on the year with a 5.95 ERA. Pitching for the Gardos is Logan Allen. Allen is 3-3 with a 4.2 ERA. JD, this one, ESPN BPI has a coin flip. Both teams are a 50% chance of winning this game. Let's take a look at how these two teams have done in recent performances. The Guardians just lost 2 of 3 against the Yankees, while the Astros won 2 of 3 against the Pirates. In the Astros game yesterday, they did score 8 runs against the Pirates, while the Guardians did get shut out by the Yankees 4-0. All that being said, JD, what do you got in this one?
Well, as far as this matchup goes, if you're into like these type of trends, the Astros absolutely own this team. They are 22-8. Like against them in the actual last 30 here. I believe last year they were 4-1. So this team just, as far as the matchup goes, they've just always done well. For the Astros, as far as Gordon, he is not my favorite guy to back whatsoever. But if you look at his numbers, though, they are better on the road. He actually still has an ERA of 3.86, but he is only allowing opponents to bat 227. So that's actually really good. And then as far as the Guardians, man, the Guardians bats they've been cold, but especially at home. Actually, home on the season so far, they are only hitting 223. That's just bad.
Yep, no way to put it but bad.
Whenever the Guardians are at home, I'm basically just trying to find a way to actually fade them. It honestly depends on the team and all that kind of stuff. But overall, though, the Astros against actually lefties, they've been hitting very good. And then the Astros bullpen, they have a big edge here also. To me, this is just, it could only be an Astros play. The only problem for me and why I haven't bet it is because this morning this line got steamed and I missed the light line. So that's why for me it's not an actual play. But yeah, that would be the only side I could do here.
Yeah, JD, I actually am on the Astros in the spot. You put everything perfectly. They have absolutely owned the Guardians in the last 30 games, and I do think they will have a big performance here. The only worry, like you said, is going to be Colton Gordon. He's not exactly an ace of any ball club. He's might not even really be an MLB pitcher, let's be honest here. But he is, when he has pitched and started, his team has won 3 or 4 games this year. They are 3-1 on games that he starts. I anticipate that trend to continue, and we just saw the Guardians bats put up a big zero burger against the Yankees last night. I do think their bats will stay a little cold. In the series against the Yankees, in 3 total games, they only scored 6 runs, so they averaged 2 runs a game. The game before they against the Angels, they only scored 4 runs again. So their offense has been a little slow while the Astros are coming in with their bats hot. I do think that will continue. I do think the Astros will get it done. And at a minus 125, that's exactly what I'm going to be playing. JD, before we move on to the next scheduled game, we do have a comment here from Cannibal asking what we think about the Marlins Rays in the early game. So let me pull that up. That's the 1 o'clock first pitch in just over an hour. And let me tell you something right now, Cannibal. There ain't no way in hell that I am playing anything on the Marlins right now. The Marlins have lost 4 consecutive games. 3 of those to the freaking Colorado Rockies, the worst team we have seen in MLB history. Statistically, the worst team we have ever seen in MLB history just swept this team in Miami. So Miami got swept at home by the worst team in MLB history. There's not a chance in hell I would take them. I would take the Rays here at the minus 140. The Rays are winners of 4 of their last 5 games. They just came in. They swept Texas. They are still at home. I know it's a battle of Florida, so Miami doesn't have to go far. However, I do think the Rays will have a big performance here and will get the win. JD, what do you think about this game?
To start off with, when you first said his name, I hadn't seen his name. So, my mind went one, way. And then when I actually read his name and how it's spelled, I was like, whoa, that is totally different than what I was thinking. But anyway, man, this game, I'm staying off. I mean, the Marlins, we know, they just got swept by the Rockies. Their bats could not do anything. And against that Rockies pitching staff, that's not a good sign. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they're awful. They're the worst.
I will say, though, as far as this afternoon game, as far as the stadium that they're playing, this is a minor league ballpark. The weather's supposed to be nice. The wind's supposed to be blowing out. So that normally sets up for an actual nice over. But like I said, currently, I'm not this Marlins team. I'm not going to trust them to do anything currently. So for me, it was an easy pass.
Yeah, it's not an official play for me, but if I were to pick something, I definitely would pick the Rays over the Marlins. There's no chance you're going to see me on the Marlins for the foreseeable future with everything that just happened. No chance you could get swept at home by the Rockies and have anybody betting on you. So I don't think anybody, except for Joe, apparently, who, hey, Joe also said take the Pacers last night, so take that for what it is. But I don't think many people will be on the Marlins side in this game. All right, JD, let's move on to our third scheduled game of the day. We're going to be going over to the Diamondbacks, taking on the Reds. Pitching for the D-backs is Erod. Supposed to be a really good pitcher for them. He has not been. He's 1-3 on the year with a 7.05 ERA. In 44 innings of work, he's allowed 58 hits, 18 walks, and 8 homers. He has a whip of a 1.7. That's really bad. On the other side, we have Nick Lodolo. Lodolo's 4-4 in the year with a 3.1 ERA. In 69 innings of work, he's allowed 63 hits, 14 walks, and 7 homers. All that being said, JD, we got the D-backs, we got the Reds. What do you got?
Man, we'll start off with, as far as the Diamondbacks, as far as their offense is definitely hot. In the month of June so far, they are batting .293. So that's obviously very good. I don't even want to bring this up. I'm going to have to. Yesterday, they came back from 6 runs down in the 9th inning to beat the Braves. That was a horrible loss.
Real bad loss for the Braves.
Was that the game that we talked about live on the show where I said
yes, that was the early game that had 21 runs. That was the 12-15 first pitch.
So if actually y'all followed me on that, you definitely got that easily.
Yep.
But anyway, yes. So as far as this lineup goes, they are hot. They are hot. But on the mound, you just said it. They are throwing out the absolute definition of what we call a gas can. Alpha just actually said all of his numbers. What really sticks out there is that 1.7 whip. Almost having 2 base runners on per inning, that is a recipe for disaster. And all of that, teams are batting against him on the season at 309. That is just honestly amazing that he is starting still.
Yep.
But while he still is, we are going to take advantage of that, though. The Reds should be able to hit him. They definitely should. And then as far as the D-backs bullpen, they should definitely be able to get theirs off of them also, because their bullpen is ranked 27th with a 5.25 ERA. I know we've talked about that a lot over the past week or so here. As far as the Reds bullpen goes, they're not much better, though. They have a 4.04 ERA, but like I've been talking about also, I am expecting that to get even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest thing here, besides those points, is about this ballpark. Great American small park. And so you have that just to start with. But then tonight, you have great hitting temps along with the wind blowing out. And actually, that is at a park that just already gives up runs. So for me, this was a easy over 9.5.
Yeah, if I were to play anything on this game, JD, I agree with you. I would take the over, but this one is going to be a stay-away game for me. I do think Erod will eventually start getting it together. Don't know if it's going to be in tonight's spot. I'm not willing to bet it till I see it, so that's why I am laying off. But I do think he's too good of a pitcher to continue to pitch at this clip. He's pitching at what's the right way to put this? A Patrick Corbin 2 years ago Washington Nationals level, where when he's going right now, it's an automatic fade. I remember back about 2 years ago, every time Patrick Corbin stepped on the mound, everyone was tweeting on Twitter, "Happy Patrick Corbin Day, free money day, fade Patrick Corbin." And it seems like Erod is in the same boat as him right now. So until I see him get it together, I can't bet anything, but I do kind of anticipate him to turn it around a bit. So I'm not going to touch anything on this game. But if I were, like I said, I do like the over. All right, JD, let's move on to the next game. And then we have a comment from Footy. We're going to quickly talk about the Pirates game after that. But before we do, we're going to talk about the Dodgers taking on the Cardinals. And this is an interesting game because the Cardinals are a minus 125 favorite hosting the Dodgers. And I think I do know the reasons why. Let's go into it. Dodgers coming into this game, they have Justin Robleski pitching. He's 1-1 on the year with an 8.0 ERA. On the other side, the Cardinals have their guy, Sonny Gray, who's 6-1 on the year with a 3.65 ERA. JD, pitching matchup heavily favors the Cardinals. But to be fair, Robleski's only pitched 9 innings this year. So how much can you really take away from his 1 or 2 starts that he's been out there? So I wouldn't put too much. Yet 2 starts. One of the starts that he lost 8-2. Second one he won 19-2. So he's a 500 pitcher so far this year. His road ERA, JD, is a 14.4, which is not great, but yet again it was only from 1 start. What do you like in this game?
For him, let's just start out there. Like you said, it's 2 starts. You can't put a whole lot to it. But he has faced this same Cardinals team. And in a very limited sample size, though, they smashed him. I think as far as in that one game, as far as home runs, I believe they hit at least 3.
Who, Robleski faced the Cardinals? Because I have the only 2 games he pitched this year were the Athletics and the Nationals. Maybe he did last year?
I was just about to say, I think that was probably last year.
Probably last year. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But like I said, it did not go well. So, you do have that. But, as far as actually Gray goes, yes, he's the much better option here that I would say. But if you look at the Dodgers' numbers against him, they have also hit actually him well. And the sample size there is pretty big. There's somebody that they've faced quite a bit.
Yep.
But the biggest thing here for me is this Cardinals bullpen is as taxed as you could possibly get.
Yep.
They actually played a doubleheader yesterday. So between that doubleheader and then the game before that, they've pitched 25 innings in their last 3 games.
Yep.
That's a lot of work.
Great.
And then actually a bulk of that coming in the same day yesterday. Gray's gonna have to give him length here.
Yep.
He's gonna have to, and I can just see the Dodgers getting to them though, like I still can. And then on the other side, I do see the Cardinals being able to also put up some runs. I'm sure you're going to tell me why here soon, but this total has been being bet to the under.
Yep.
Pretty strong, actually.
Yep.
But I do not agree with like that. I am on the over here. Also, just if you're into trends, the over for these teams are trending in every possible way that you can have. The Dodgers are actually 8-2 their last 10. The Cardinals are 7-3 their last 10. As far as on the season as a whole, they are both over teams. The Dodgers away, they're like an over team. They're also an over team at home. The Cardinals are actually an over team at home. They're actually 17-12. To me here, I'm not understanding why this line is moving down. So maybe you can help me out there.
Yeah, I think you know that because my best bet of the day is going to be the under in this game. So that's, I think, why you're alluding to me being on the under. And to me, a lot of this has to do with the series the Dodgers just played. They played a very emotional series against the Mets, the team that everyone predicts them. It's either the Mets or the Phillies that'll be the only competition, in my opinion, in the NL to the Dodgers. They just had an emotional series where they came back and they won at home. And then they have to now travel out to St. Louis, who had an emotional series themselves. They had some very good games against Kansas City, games that went to extra innings, games that the lead flipped and flopped, where I think in this one, both teams are going to come out flat. I think both teams have been going through a crazy schedule. I do think they both are going to be a little tired. And as you said with Sonny Gray, I anticipate him to be able to go deep into this game. So taking a look at his most recent starts, all three of his last starts, he's made it to at least the seventh inning. One of those, he made it to the eighth inning. So I do anticipate that to continue. That's what they get when you have a Sonny Gray start. He gives you length. He may not always have the most strikeouts, even though saying that in 2 of his last 3 games, he has recorded 10 strikeouts or more, but he's very good with using his pitch clock or pitch counter. He's very good at keeping his pitch count low and not over pitching in games and not only going for strikeouts. So I do anticipate in this one, Sonny Gray to show up. I do anticipate a better start out of Robleski, or however the hell you say his name as well. The Cardinals are a lineup I don't like to bet a lot. They're an offense that they may have some games, but I don't exactly believe in their offense. Their batting is a team 250 on the year. Their OBP is only at a 329. So they're doing okay, but they also don't hit home runs. Here's a good way to put it. In basically the same amount of games the Dodgers have played, there's about 1 or 2 game difference. The Dodgers have hit 101 homers. The Cardinals have hit 56 homers. And Sonny Gray is a guy that doesn't give up a ton of homers. So I don't think the Dodgers are going to be able to get many here. I know he's allowed 9 on the year, but he has gone 70 innings, so he has kept his homers pretty low. And on the other side, like I said, I think Robleski will be able to keep the ball in the park. The Cardinals are not a team that hits a ton of home runs. The team leader in homers for the Cardinals is Lars Nootbaar, who has 8 on the year. So I don't exactly expect any big power numbers from the Cards here. And I do expect this game to go under the total, and that's exactly what I'm playing. It is one of my favorite, if not my favorite play of the day at 8.5. And yet again, JD, that's exactly why I am playing the under. Do you ever take into account when like a team has like a really emotional series like the Dodgers just did against the Mets, and then they have to travel, and they did get the big win yesterday? Today's game doesn't feel as important. I think the line tells you everything you need to know as well. I think we may not see Mookie in this game. We all know he has that injury. He played through it, so I think he could sit out in this one. And I think we might not see a fully loaded lineup for either of these teams. I think they're going to be a bit of a recovery day and gear up for tomorrow, because we all know what summer baseball is. What do these teams want to do, JD? They want to win the series. They don't want to sweep the series. Of course, they want to sweep the series, but what they're going for is a 2-1 series. That's what they're going for. And in this first game of a series, after both teams had emotional series before this, I do anticipate a low-scoring game.
So are you just thinking that Sonny Gray is going to be able to hold actually the Dodgers down? Is that what you're...
I do. I think he'll be able to give them 6 to 7 innings of 2 to 3 run baseball. I think the Dodgers are going to stay in this one. I'm not sure if they're going to win the game, but 2 to 3 run baseball is exactly the kind of game I expect out of Sonny Gray in this spot, especially with, I think, the Dodgers probably not going with a fully loaded lineup tonight, because they went all out to win these games with the Mets. They used all their top guys. They were playing injured guys like Mookie, who really needs to get himself right. So I do anticipate in this game it'll be a lesser lineup than we're used to.
Gotcha.
All right, JD. Well, let's pull up the game Footy was asking us about. And then we have one more after that. The game Footy was asking us about is going to be the Phillies taking on the Pirates. Pitching for the Phillies is going to be Joe Ross. Funny seeing his name still pop up. This guy feels like he's been around forever. He's not even that old. He's 32. But he feels like he's been a journeyman pitcher who's been on a billion different teams. Joe Ross is 2-1 on the year with a 4.35 ERA. In 29 innings of work, he's allowed 30 hits, 7 walks, and 5 homers. On the other side, we have Bailey Falter, who I cannot believe has been as good as he has been. And Footy put some stats in the chat. I'll pull up in a minute, not on the screen, but I'll get to it in a second. But Bailey Falter's 4-3 on the year with a 3.14 ERA. JD? Phillies have won every game against the Pirates this year. They're 3-0. What do you think is going to happen in this game? And here's Footy's stats, by the way. Bailey Falter had a 0.76 ERA in May, and Footy is saying his big play is under 9.5 in this game.
Is that the total? Is the total?
Let's double check. That's what he had it as. No, it's a flat 9 now. It's a flat 9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would have to lean under. But honestly, I have this priced as an actual coin flip, man. So the Pirates getting some plus money here, I would just have to go that way. Personally, if I was going to play it, I would play the Pirates on the first 5 here.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to back the Phillies right now. Let's be honest. I backed them yesterday. They absolutely got dog walked. Was not a game. It was never a game. Let's take a look at the Phillies' most recent games, and the issue is they're not hitting at all. They lost 9-1 to Toronto yesterday. Game before that, they lost 2-1 on a walk-off hit by Alejandro Kirk. Game before that, 8-3. Big win for them. Bryce Harper's return, emotional having him back in the lineup, not taking that into account. Game before that, 2 runs. Game before that, they lost 17-7, and they got the bulk of their runs after the game was over when it was 17-2. So the main thing we're seeing here is they're not hitting. And on the other side, the Pirates are doing a good job of limiting other teams' runs. I know they lost 8-2 to the Astros yesterday, but the game before that, they won 3-0. They had a shutout. Game before that, they lost 3-0. They only gave up 3 runs. Then against the Padres, it was a 6-4 game, then a 5-0 game. They've done a good job of limiting the other teams' runs. One thing that's going to hurt the Pirates here is that Joey Bart is still on the IL. He's a big bat in that lineup. Not having him is kind of a big deal. And on the other side, JT Realmuto, the catcher from the Phillies, is still going to be out in this game. If I were to take anything in this game, I agree with the Footy. I do think the under 9 is probably the best play here, even though it's been bet down a half a run. I definitely still like that for this game, but no official play for me. Anything official from you, JD, or just a lean?
Yeah, no, just that lean. But like you were saying, man, the Phillies' bat's been cold, and they've been cold literally right since Harper got hurt. That is when everything changed, and they just haven't bounced back yet.
100%. He had a decent game. His emotional return helped them win, but we'll see what happens. Footy is putting in here. Phillies won't hit. Pirates can't hit. I agree. That's why I kind of lean the under in this game. I agree with you 1,000%, brother. All right, JD, last game we're breaking down before we get into best bets, and it may be the last time all we say is going into best bets. Maybe a little hint there for what may to become next week. But back over to this game. We have the Mets. We got the Rockies. We have Kodai Senga pitching for the Mets. He's 6-3 on the year with a 1.6 ERA. Let me tell you something. How are you 6-3 with a 1.6 ERA? The Mets got to start hitting for this guy. He should not have 3 losses on the year when he's got a 1.6 ERA. That is lights out dominant. Dominant. It doesn't get much better than a 1.6 ERA. I believe Max Fried has a 1.7 ERA with the Yankees so far since joining the Yankees, and they're talking about that being the greatest start of a new pitcher joining the Yankees in history. Well, there's this guy over on the other side of New York named Kodai Senga pitching to a 1.6 ERA, but he's only 6-3. Feels like a Felix Hernandez situation from the mid-2010s when he won the Cy Young at like a 13-12 record. These guys got to start performing for Kodai Senga. But on the other side, he's got a good recipe to get a win tonight, JD, because he's got our guy, Antonio Sensatella. Oh, boy. Antonio Sensatella is my gas can of the year #1 spot. He is the #1 guy I like to fade, and I'll go over why now. Sensatella's 1-10 on the year. They continuously throw this guy out there. He doesn't get hurt. He's always healthy, and he always sucks. Like I said, 1-10 on the year. He's got a 7.14 ERA. That's bad. You know what's even worse than a 7.14 ERA? A 2.0 whip. A 2.0 whip. That means every inning this guy trots out on the mound, 2 or more base runners on average are reaching base. That is so bad. I don't know how any other way to articulate this, JD. That is so bad. In 58 innings of work, he's allowed 98 hits, 17 walks, and 11 homers. He's only accumulated 31 strikeouts in 58 innings. In comparison to Kodai Senga, Senga has 59 strikeouts in 62 innings, so only a 4-inning differential there, but a 28 strikeout differential there, and Senzatella has given up 8 more homers on the year. All that being said, JD, Rockies are hot. Rockies are on a win streak. Rockies are looking for their 4th win in a row. Will they get it over the Kodai Senga Mets tonight? What do you got?
Man, just like you said, man, talking about a gas can. Yeah, this is definitely
We'll cover it, J-Bo. I got you, brother. I got you.
Yeah, man. As far as Senzatella, man, you just said it all, man. You have to fade him in some type of way. You just have to figure out some like way here. The Mets bats, just like you said, as far as the Dodgers series, they're coming off of that, all that, they should still be able to get to him. And then actually, as far as the Rockies bullpen, I know that they just held the Marlins down, but I don't see that happening. Again, though, that is not who this Rockies team is.
To the Mets either? Oh, no shot, bro.
So I see the Mets being able to score plenty of runs here. Then as far as Senga, you said how good he's been, and he has been absolutely great. There's one problem here, though. As far as Coors Field, this is his first time here. And when somebody makes their first starting and actually Coors Field, it normally doesn't go well. And that's because, just so everybody knows why Coors Field is the way it is. I mean, it's not just the ball flying further and all that, though. But as far as the pitching, it actually really affects that also. Yep. As far as actually breaking balls, the pitchers don't actually get as much break on those. So that's why you see a lot of balls hung. And then obviously see guys just smash them out. So I think even though Senga has been so good, I think he may give up some runs here tonight. Now I think the Mets score a lot more runs.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think he is going to give up runs here. And you have a Rockies team that for literally the first time this season is actually feeling good.
Rockies are hot. Rockies are hot.
They're going to be up there at the plate actually feeling good. So with all of that,
for the first inning,
you got a total here of 10 and a half, and that to me is extremely low here. I understand that as far as the weather tonight is not the best. For Coors Field, it is going to be kind of cool.
60 degrees,
but it is still Coors Field. So to me, we're actually getting a discount because of the weather. But I don't think with what we have going on the mound tonight, I don't think that matters, and I think this number is very low. So give me the over 10 and a half runs.
I have bad news, JD. I'm looking at it here. They're saying low quality air tonight. I don't know how that affects a baseball game. You're the weatherman, but we got low quality air in Coors tonight, JD. I don't know what that means, but if you're going to the game, don't breathe. For me, this is the other leg of my parlay. Oh, it's square. It's the New York parlay. Shut up. Yankees, Mets, moneyline parlay, plus 110. I'm very confident. One of my favorite plays of the day here. I don't see any way the Senzatella Rockies are going to beat the Kodai Senga Mets. I just don't see it. I know the Mets are coming in off an emotional series, but the Mets had a bad loss in their last game. If they would have won that game yesterday, I think I would be a little bit more hesitant, to be honest, but they blew a big lead and they lost in a bad way. And I do think the Mets will bounce back in this spot. The one worry I have is I don't think we're going to see Lindor tonight. He is day-to-day with that sprained pinky toe or something weird, some minor injury that he's going to be able to play through. But this is not a game you need to force him to play. They are not going to really need him. I think one other play I like, if you want to take a home run prop in this game, because what's more fun than taking home run props in Coors Field, that's usually where you're going to get a lot of homers, is probably going to be Pete Alonso. I think Pete Alonso is going to absolutely tank at least one off of Senzatella. I think he's going to tank one. You can currently get him at a plus 300. One more thing I want to talk about, JD. It has absolutely nothing to do with the betting world. It has everything to do with me being a Yankees fan and me finding it very funny what's going on. What the fuck happened to Juan Soto? Who is this guy who's currently playing for the Mets, batting 225? 225. Homers on the year, he's got 11. He has 30 RBIs. let me put that in comparison. He's had less plate appearances than Brandon Nimmo, who's the leadoff man. Nimmo has more RBIs. Pete Alonso has 24 more RBIs. Lindor has more RBIs. What happened to Juan Soto, JD? Do you think it's just a shell shock going to a new team? Because I don't think he's going to continue to be this bad, but he's struck out 44 times so far this year. That is so not like Juan Soto. What is your take on why he's been this bad?
Like everybody kind of like goes actually through like cold streaks. But what bothers me is his attitude during this. When as far as the order for that game, they moved him down, which was very justified. Yeah, how shitty he's been doing. In that first plate appearance, he didn't put the bat off of his shoulder and struck out. That is some of the I have no respect for this dude whatsoever, man.
And that's his thing, right? He's known as being the king of having the best eye in baseball. He takes more walks than anyone. He doesn't swing at bad pitches, but then he comes to the Mets. And I know you said everybody goes through these cold stretches. I'm going to be honest. Have you seen Aaron Judge do this? This is an $800 million player. This is the guy. And he's playing like this, and he's on a team that's doing as well as they are. Remember when they didn't want Pete Alonso? Remember when they said trade for Vladdy? We're not going to re-sign Pete Alonso? Well, let me tell you something, Mets fans. Pete Alonso's batting 300. Pete Alonso has 15 homers. Pete Alonso has 15 RBIs. Pete Alonso leads the team in 394 OBP, and Pete Alonso leads the team in hits. On all 5 major statistical batting categories for the Mets, it's Pete Alonso, Pete Alonso, Pete Alonso, Pete Alonso, Pete Alonso. The guy they wanted to throw out the door 3 months ago. So something to remember for Mets fans. Maybe you should take care of your own.
And exactly. Pete is saying fuck you by actually doing well, while Juan Soto is saying fuck you by intentionally getting struck out.
It's crazy. And not hustling. So if I was a Mets fan,
that's wild to me.
I'd be so mad if I was a Mets fan with him so far.
Just imagine with how good the Mets have been this season. Imagine if Soto was actually doing well, or just fucking average for actually him.
Yep. Just crazy. Dude, it's just crazy. They would be doing so much better.
Yeah. It would be nuts, man.
I mean, he's got 96 total bases. Pete Alonso has 136. It's just crazy to me when you take a look at this in depth. But we do have one more game we're going to go over. Sorry, guys. We had to go off on a little tangent there. I had to bring up how bad this fucking guy's been and how much I've enjoyed it. How much I have really – because what did that do for the Yankees? Max Fried, Paul Goldschmidt, who's batting, third best batting average in the AL, and then who else? Cody Bellinger. All 3 of those guys were the price of Juan Soto. So for me, absolutely wild. Shout out Sobet, who's tuning in. We haven't seen you here in a while. We appreciate you tuning in to the show today. Sobet, he did have the expectation of the top dog. And guess what? He's the little poodle right now. The little poodle right now. So we're going to keep it moving. J-Bo wants us to go over the Cubs game. So let me pull that up here, J-Bo. We have the Cubs. We got the Tigers. And I think I know why you want to talk about this one. It's because we have your guy, Tariq Skubal, on the bump for the Tigers. Tigers come into this game, guys, 41-23. They are 21-8 at home. Cubbies are coming into this game 39-23. They're 19-12 at home. Pitching for the Cubbies is Ben Brown. He is 3-3 in the year with a 5.72 ERA. Let's check how he's done on the road. And he's 3-0 on the road, but he's got a 6 ERA. So the Cubbies are hitting for him, but he's giving up a ton of runs. JD, big favorite here with the Tigers. What do you got?
Man, with this game, the only way I could look was to be back in the Tigers in some type of way. You get the Tigers' first 5 currently. You can actually lay a half run. It looks like you can grab a minus 125. I really don't mind that. As far as the full game, really you have to do the run line. But with this total being so low,
it's so tough to play a Tigers run line, bro. And then you take a look at Skubal's most recent wins. Yeah. They had a 5-0 win where he went a complete game, but before that, 5-4, 6-5, 2-1. And I know that because a couple times I was on the run line and it did not cash. So they're a tough team to back on the run line.
So there's why I like Wood play the first 5. Honestly, this is a play that I would be on if I just didn't have so many other plays that I really like.
Yeah, so I get that.
As long as you can get the Tigers on the first 5, laying that half run at anything better than, let me pull up my numbers real quick. Anything better than minus 137, then actually I'll
pull it up.
Then I definitely
Tigers. You want Tigers first 5, you said, right, on the run line?
Yes. Yeah.
Hold on. Tigers first 5 run line. Ooh. Minus 150.
Yeah, there's not a play.
I don't mind this from J-Bo. I think the Tigers do win, but yet again, I would not take them at the minus 1.5. I've been burned too many times, and this Cubs team has some real offensive power this year. I mean, if the Cubs are smart, they're going to take as many pitches as possible, and they're going to work this guy out of the game. If you get into the 5th, 6th inning, and all game you're taking the first pitch, you're battling it to counts, and you're not letting him get easy ground balls on the first couple pitches of the ABs, you can work Skubal out of the game. And then when you get to the Tigers bullpen, I could definitely see this Cubbies team doing a little damage.
And when you look at this game, you're like, okay, the Tigers at like home. All right, there's a great piece because the Tigers are just such a good home team. Well, then when you dig into it, you realize, well, damn, the Cubs are a really good road team.
The Cubs are a really good team.
Well, yeah. So that you can't, that kind of, I guess, cancels out there. But yeah, just as far as the pitching, like just keep the first 5, just starters versus starters here. The Tigers definitely have a very clear edge.
Like
I said, if you can find a book that actually has an actual playable number there, then actually that would be the way that I would go. And a matter of fact, what you could do is actually parlay the Tigers' first 5, and actually
I like that,
and actually do that with the Mets. So that way, as far as the bullpens and all that, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because you know what? The Cubbies are winners of 8 of their last 10. They're 8-2 over the last 10. So it's tough to take anything against the Cubs right now because they're red hot. They're one of those teams. We talk about it on the show all the time. When a team gets hot, especially in summer baseball, you ride that team because usually this is when they can go on a little bit of a streak. I mean, we saw last year the Yankees went on one of those crazy, I think it was like a 19-20 game win streak right in June. We've seen the Mets do that in the summer as well, where they were counted out of the playoffs last year, and in the late summer they went on that unbelievable run to make the playoffs and make a run. So you see a lot of these teams in the summer get hot and continuously rip off wins. I definitely think this is a team right now, the Cubs, it's very difficult to fade. All right, JD, I've talked a lot today. I've said a lot of words today. And I think it's time we dive in to our best bets for today, Friday, June 6th. JD, I already know the answer to this, but what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got 19. How many best bets do you have for the people today?
We're going to go with one here on the show, and it is a game that we talked about. Give me that Mets and Rockies game. Give me the over 10.5 runs. This is one where I just think this number is being discounted a little too much here. And there's also a game where we see both sides can actually put up some runs.
Yep, I'm with you 1,000%. Let's see it there. And then my best bet, I'm going to put it on the screen here. Get your phones out, get your screenshots. It's going to be that Dodgers-Cardinals under 8.5. Guys, starting next week, I have a feeling you're going to see an even bigger slate of best bets from us. We're committed to giving you guys even more picks, so make sure you guys are tuned in. There will be more best bets going forward. And JD, I think it's safe to say that this is probably our last episode where the best bets graphic and everything in the best bet segment is going to look just like this. We have a big announcement next week we're very, very excited for. And we're very excited to bring you guys something really cool and something very unique. Like I said, make sure you have your phones out. Don't look that it says Monday best bets. It's now a thing. We've talked about it because it says Monday every day. We've left it up there. We know we could change it and make it Friday, but we think it's kind of funny keeping it always as Monday best bets. So deal with it. Get your phones out, get your screenshots, and let's cash. JD, it's been a fun week, brother. It's been a long week. It's been a long week too, though.
Been that awesome.
I know I'm going to enjoy going to the bar tonight, crushing a couple beers. We have some good weather here today, so I hope you do exactly what I'm doing this weekend, bro, and you enjoy yourself. Any parting words for the people before we get the fuck out of here today?
Yeah, guys, just actually like Apple was saying, we do have some change coming, but I do have to tell y'all, this is all good change. So, it's definitely all good stuff. But yeah, guys, Friday. Hope everybody has a great day. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We will see y'all back here Monday at noon, regular time. But most importantly, everybody, let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win, baby. We'll see you guys Monday. Everyone have a great weekend. Peace.